Good afternoon. Welcome to Entrepreneurial Live Interviews with Connie Fuksa. I am Connie Fuksa, and I bring this series together for you because I want you guys to meet some really incredible people that have saw a need in the world and decided to take advantage of that and take the leap and venture out on their entrepreneurial journey. And through that journey, a lot of them have had lots of experiences that are really worthy of sharing for you guys, so you can understand that entrepreneurs just don't drop out of the sky and have this beautiful, magical life. It is a big struggle and a lot of things go into it. And I love being able to share these stories. And through it, I've gotten to meet some really incredible people. And one of those people is Debbie. Debbie, thank you so much for being with me today.
Connie, thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. I am thrilled to have you here. So what I want to do first, Debbie, is if you would just share your journey, share your story. How did you who are you? And let everybody know a little bit about you. And then tell us how you got to where you are and what you're doing right now.
Okay. So I'm Debbie Pickus, everybody, and I'm the founder of Team Fireball. But I've been the proud owner of several home-based businesses and also working for others along the way. I've got a fitness and martial arts background that goes back over 20 years. A friend of mine and I decided to invest in a title boxing club several years ago, and that business failed, but the concept of this business came out of that idea. I am a 62-year-old mother of 3 grown children, and I have been through a divorce, a long-term relationship with an alcoholic, a lot of ups and downs in that world, and also financial ruin, because I've been through a foreclosure. I've been through a bankruptcy. I lost the home that I had after my marriage. And, I went on the roller coaster ride, worse than some, not as bad as some. But the thing is that I believe that all those things lead you to where you are now and have made me much stronger and made me more powerful in my mission to empower other women who may feel stuck, may feel like they've hit bottom, may feel like they can't bounce back from something. So I consider myself resilient. What I'm doing now with Team Fireball, it actually started out of that title boxing club as fitness team building. Nobody was doing this at the time, which was probably like 5 years ago. I would take my fitness, my martial arts background, and we would go into corporations and we would do fun events, anything from salsa dancing to self-defense training. And eventually it evolved into what I'm doing now, which I'll share in a moment. But the goal was always around empowering mostly women. I mean, obviously it works for men too, but mostly women around the mind-body connection and the mind-body experience. So the original team building concept was fitness and activity, but it also involved some mindset work, and it involved a full holistic connection between the two and integrity between the two.
Gotcha. Wow. All right. So, wow. I mean, first of all, what I love about this is you are so genuine and just raw. You're willing to share struggles that you had so other people can understand and be successful. And so I so appreciate that. I mean, I know it's really hard, and sometimes people may look at, like I said in the beginning, a lot of people look at business owners or business leaders as these people that just have it all together and everything just magically works. And that's so far from the truth. And I just love that you shared some of those struggles, because it really gives people the understanding that it takes grit and you have to keep going and digging as you're finding your way through. And I love that you shared that one of your businesses didn't work out and you and made something that is doing great, So thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate that. And the other thing is, so tell us exactly, what is Team Fireball? What are you doing? What is this all about?
Excellent. So as I said, it did start as the team building concept, going into companies and working with primarily the women's business groups. I still do some of that, but it eventually morphed into what I'm doing now, because what I have found is a lot of women business owners are on the same roller coaster, the same frustration journey as I was. They are pulling their hair out because they're trying, the shiny object to the next shiny object, to this tactic, to this strategy. And when it doesn't work, they're beating themselves up. Like, they're having conversations in their head that they would never have with their loved ones, because it's where I was. But they can't figure out what's going wrong. And so then they get in the mindset of, well, I should just quit. I should get a job. Oh, my father said this, my boyfriend said this, my husband thinks I should just do this. And I want these women to know that they don't have to give up, because my financial troubles were all a product of my misunderstanding about money and my lack of trust in myself. So I trusted others, and basically that turned out disastrous. I lost everything. So the work I do now is about power and confidence and mindset for women. And I coach virtually women, professional women and their teams if they need that. And it's kind of like, it's not your fault. The things that are going wrong in your life are really not your fault. If a woman finds that, and men too, again, but if a woman finds that she keeps like, I'm back here again. I'm back here again. It doesn't have to be around money. I'm back dating another, jerky guy, or I'm back, that 10 or 15 pounds is back, or whatever it is. That's a mindset thing. And that is something that can be changed. Some people think they are stuck. They're like, it's just the way it is. That is not true.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
I'd be in the middle of another unsuccessful business and broke again. And that's not what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this. So your whole business revolves around helping people get in the right mindset where they need to be to empower them to move forward, be stronger, pick up the next piece of the puzzle, follow along with what they need to do on their path.
And not to spend hours and hours in these states of suffering, which we spend in, stress, anxiety, overwhelm, fear, self-doubt. I just did talk about this yesterday, not picking up the phone or not going after these great opportunities because they think they're not good enough. I mean, it all emanates around self-doubt. What the self-doubt is and what the actual limiting belief is different for each one. And when I work with people, we dig deep to find out what it is, because when we get there, it's like lifting a veil, like, oh my God, that explains all this. I mean, I years ago was at a conference with a business coach, and the first day she said something like, it wouldn't matter if I lost all my money because I know, tomorrow, because I could make it all back. Making money's easy. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't believe that about myself. This is 6 years ago. Yeah. And that was the first time that I was like, oh my God, my problem isn't the stuff I'm doing. I'm doing things because of what I believe in here. Right. When you stop believing this and you start believing making powerful decisions, you do the things that are in alignment with the powerful decision.
Yeah.
You've got a poor mindset and a poor limiting belief. You're going to do things in alignment with that, but you're going to reap the same results over and over because of it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Very powerful. So talk to us about, when you choose to go on an entrepreneurial path, and obviously you've done this a couple of times, so you have a little more experience than most, but tell us a little bit about some of the things that maybe you didn't know or that you've learned along the way that maybe you probably should have known beforehand, but you were just all in. Like you just, obviously, you were not the, oh my gosh, let me do all of these details. Tell us about, because that's, I think, one of the things that a lot of people who jump in on an entrepreneurial path get a little bit, it's energy, right? That's all excitement and energy. And we're going to do this and we're going to save the world because we have this great plan. And there's all these other pieces that are behind the scenes that have to be done or you have to know about. So tell us a little bit about your experiences with those.
Oh my goodness. Well, several of them I joined, I did something, I jumped on something because really I didn't have the clarity to know what was important to me or what I wanted. It sounded like a good idea or it sounded like an easy way to make money. So I would say the first thing is pick a path that there's a real solid reason why you want to be on this path, why you want to do this thing. I would say don't make a decision to buy a business or invest in a business or a franchise or any of those things. I mean, those are all great, but don't do it for the wrong reasons. Like understand the reasoning and the purpose behind it. I'm like, well, this looks easy and it's not that expensive. I could probably make money at it. And I wasn't feeling it, so I wasn't doing it. The second thing is, if you're really good at something, but maybe it's not your dream, you can still do it and you can create the side thing that's your dream with the money that you're making from that business. So I don't have an example right now, but let's say for me, let's say I was actually good at accounting. It doesn't excite me, right? But I mean, if I was great at it, okay, I can do this, and then I can create my mission of whatever my mission is on the side. So you don't have to find the thing that you love and have to make money at it. It's great if you can. The other thing is, there's a lot going on under those businesses. I mean, there's just a lot of structure. You have to have an attorney. You've got to have an accountant. You really have to understand. You have to set up a corporation, or you should, just to really understand. But get advice first. Don't just jump in.
Yeah. I love all that. That's the thing is people don't necessarily, jump in and then they don't know. Well, one, they don't know what they don't know, but two, they don't know that, these are the paths that you need to take to make sure that you're protected. Talk to us a little bit about, because you said that you use a business coach and you have that kind of thing. Talk to us a little bit about that too, because I think that's a really important piece of the puzzle, because people are afraid. Entrepreneurs like to put themselves on an island and are afraid to ask for help, ask for advice, ask other thoughts. Hence why I do this series. But because I want you to share that piece a little bit, because it's such an important piece. It's a place to get information from someone else who's already done what you wanted to do, and you've seen it, and you're getting that direction.
Yes, I agree. So yes, I've had many business coaches. I've had 1, 2, 3. I'm on my 4th business coach now, and not because they weren't good, and that's why I wasn't with them. But sometimes you work with a coach and then you learn what you need to learn from that person. And then you can move on to the next thing, and then you elevate to a different level or do whatever. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the reasons I didn't even want to become a coach, I mean, it just sort of happened because naturally kind of thing that I was doing already. And I just thought, well, I should just do this. But I've always had a coach. I think that we should not go in our head by ourselves, because it can be very dangerous in there. And again, that same loop of a limiting belief, you're stuck in this little tiny thing. When you work with somebody else, they can see things that you cannot see. They can see where your pitfalls are. They can see where your talents are that you don't see. There's so many open up when you work with somebody, whether it's a coach, or a consultant, or just a mentor or advisor. I think it's really important. But I also think you want to get advice from people who are working at a level where you are or above. Because getting advice from a bunch of friends that don't get what an entrepreneur journey is, they're not in the same mindset and the same place. So surround yourself with people who are doing the things that you want to be doing and that are doing them well. And those are the people you want to connect with. I mean, I just invested in a different coach now. I'm in a mastermind now. I'm learning things that are like phenomenal, because I'm now at this level versus the level I was, and I'm ready for it. So continually growing and getting assistance is what I believe.
That's really good advice, because the one thing that I think that people don't do is they're so busy doing their thing, making their widget, whatever that thing is, that they don't make time to do the things that will continually keep them growing. So I appreciate that advice. That's really good.
Working in their business versus on their business and on themselves. Yeah.
Well, I mean, both are very important, but they're both equally important. And I think that's one thing that bringing that to the forefront is really important, because people don't realize that you have to make time in your schedule to do the things that are the behind the scene things, the things that make you grow, your business grow, learning, filling your head with good information, all of those good pieces.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about some of the processes now. I mean, like as you're going forward and you have, a mentor or a coach or those types of things. So tell us a little bit about that, working on your business. And maybe do you have people that work with you? Do you have employees? Do you have any people that help you with some of the behind the scenes stuff? What's your feeling on that? What's your thoughts about those things?
Well, I mean, I think it's a great idea to get help. I think a lot of times what we get bogged down with are the things we're not good at, right? So for me, it's kind of the technology, the automation. I mean, I'm a like, hey, let's do this on the, seat of my pants and just like spur of the moment. Like I'm doing a talk that's for a summit that's Friday. And at the last minute, we had to record it. Like they didn't have space for all the live speakers. And I was like, I mean, it's so not my thing to like record and edit and do all these things. So I really actually just kind of threw him a video of that was very raw. Hopefully it works, right? But, my partner, who's my fiance, who is in business with me, but he's doing other work. Usually he set this, my studio up here. He'll do like the automation. He handles some of the bookkeeping. He handles a lot of the, like any of the automation stuff or the tech stuff. He handles that for me and has always done that for me, even though he's doing other things. Having a VA, you have to determine, I mean, when we first start out, sometimes we don't have enough money for all those things and we're wearing all the hats. But as you get going a little bit, I think it's really, really important to bring in other people and delegate the things that if something takes you a ton of time, what's your time worth?
Value. Yeah.
I mean, for me, my time could be worth $10,000 an hour. Not that I charge that, but what could I be doing with that hour of time? I could be developing a new course. I could be working on a new program. I could be writing a book. I could be doing a million things that are way more important than for me to putz around with a computer screen, in an Excel sheet or something that I don't understand. So delegate out the things that you're not good at once you can. Get the help you need so that you can rise up and be so much better.
Wow, that is so insightful and so powerful. Exactly that, the things that you're not good at or that you just don't want to do. Your time is so much more valuable than the $10 or $20 an hour you're going to pay somebody to do those things. And, the other side of it is too, when you talk about being able to afford things, some of that is investing in your business. You decide to create a business, you have to have some funding. And part of it needs to be to make sure that some of the things that you're just not good at are better served by paying somebody to take care of those, because you're going to be out there making money doing the thing that you are really good at. And that's the piece that you need to do.
I agree.
I love that information. And there's so many resources out there right now to do that, to find people. I love that you brought that up, because I think that's really important, using your value for what it's really worth and not, the tasks that you're not good at or that just don't make you happy. That's the other thing. I don't take that seriously.
Right. You have to ask yourself a question. What is the cost of not solving that problem? What is the cost of not doing it? Even with coaching, some people think that a coach, that's more expensive than I want to spend. Okay, great. Well, what's the cost of not hiring the coach? Because there's a finite number you're going to spend, but that's going to skyrocket you over here. How long are you going to wait? Or whether it's investing in any of the things that you're talking about behind the scenes. I don't want to spend money on a lawyer, an accountant, or this. What's the cost of not doing it? I mean, that's the question you got to ask yourself. And that's a little higher level thinking than where I was, 5-10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, and obviously you figured out some of those pieces, hence you've grown yourself. And now you are tackling this business with all of the tools and all of the knowledge. And that's one reason that I like bringing this series together, is because we can share all of these pieces, things that work, things that don't work, and sometimes might help someone else grow that knowledge base before they make that leap. And you have so many different experiences that I really appreciate you sharing a lot of this stuff today. This is really wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk to us a little bit about, you talked about things that you needed to know that maybe you didn't know at first, but talk about looking back, some of the things that you might have done a little bit differently had you known some experiences that you were having.
I think, like when we first started Team Fireball, we invested in an office that was a little pricey. It was great, but I might not have done that. We joint ventured with somebody, or tried to joint venture like 200 times. It didn't quite work out. We spent money on like what are they called? Like the people that call people and they have a script, like when
like that direct calling campaign. Yeah.
Something where they're calling people, they're getting leads for you or whatever. I don't think it's worthwhile. And, and my partner and I, because Bill was in the business with me at first, and we didn't really plan how that was going to look. We just really jumped in and tried to manage our relationship and our business and all that at the same time. And there were a lot of pitfalls. It's hard to do.
Well, I appreciate you sharing some of that because that's really interesting. I mean, some of this is, thinking out the planning a little bit. I mean, we all want to just jump in. We have this great idea. We're going to do it. We're going to figure it out as we go along because that's what a lot of people say that you can do. And that's fine. But you end up hitting some of these bumps. And that's why I appreciate you sharing successes and struggles because some of these bumps are very valuable as well. I mean, you thought, oh, I need this really expensive office space. And, definitely didn't need that after all. So thinking through that planning a little bit might have had a different result, but you also learned a whole lot about it too. I mean, I do believe that every single thing that happens to us is a learning experience. We get a piece of information out of it and then we move forward and use that information to better us. So absolutely, all those things help you, I'm sure.
Exactly what I was going to say too. It's like, yes, we did all these things, dumped a bunch of money into places we shouldn't have, but you learn and you grow and everything you do leads you somewhere else. I mean, listen, I could go back in my life and change back a lot of things, knowing what I know now. Who knows where I'd end up because of that. So,
but you wouldn't be who you are today either. That's the other very important piece. That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So, tell us, do you specials, events you have coming up? What kind of things? What kind of things might you have going on that we need to know about so we can share with everybody?
Okay, yeah, that would be great. Well, there's a summit this Friday, Innovation Women's Summit, and on my social media, people will see that. I think you can buy tickets for $29. I've got a link to register there. I'm going to host a masterclass. I don't have the exact date yet, but it's going to probably be the second week of August. So I'm going to be promoting that, and that will be about a 90-minute masterclass around mindset and tricks and tools, and there'll be all sorts of things in there. Networking, some of my martial arts tips, that all tie into everything. That's coming up, and really those are the main things that are coming up right now. Planning, there will be more in the future, but I would love to have your listeners, your followers. Connect with me on social media for sure and stay in touch with me and ask. I don't know if anybody's got any questions. I don't see anything coming in. I don't know if you've got that feature enabled, but yeah.
I do. I mean, you don't have any right now, but certainly I will watch that in the feed. Debbie, if somebody wants to register or find out more about you, what is your website?
The website is Team-Fireball. So www.team-fireball.com. I will say that on that website right now, a lot of my coaching and programs are not up there. My self-defense and all the team building is up there, but there's a way to contact me through that website and also through my social media, which Debbie Rapport Pickus on Facebook is my personal, and Debbie Pickus on LinkedIn.
Okay, good. I'm going to add your website in the comments here too. So everybody has them, team-fireball.com. Excellent. Okay. And then that way, anybody wants to find you, they know where to find you. Give us, as we wind up here, give us your go-to. What's your piece of advice for, anybody starting out or struggling, or what is Debbie's go-to advice for the entrepreneurial world?
Can I add something to that last comment too? For your
please do.
If somebody is feeling like a little stuck, not sure, what the next steps are or resonates with any of this, I offer a 30-minute free breakthrough call. So, please reach out to me, and maybe in the comments, I'm happy to put that link for anybody.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you.
I just thought of that.
Good.
The go-to. Cut yourself a break. If you find yourself just feeling hours and hours of any of these feelings, stress, anxiety, overwhelm, fear, frustration, scarcity, anger, bitterness, resentment, boredom, comparison, all those things are states of mind that are related to some limiting belief that is really holding you back. So when you get to that place, take a deep breath, think about what thought is behind this feeling. Mm-hmm. And recognize that thought is likely something you made up many years ago and isn't true, and see if you can come up with some form of the opposite. I mean, that's really what I do when I work with my clients, except we obviously go way deeper, but that's kind of a quick fix. And the next part is watch your language. If you're having a conversation with yourself, would you say those words to somebody you love? Because I had an epiphany several years ago that I was in a conversation with myself that was quite abusive. And I thought, I would never say that to my daughter. Like, I pictured her face crumbling if I talked to her that way. And then it was like, mm-mm. So
Wow.
watch what's going on in here, watch what's coming out of here, going back in, and hopefully you will feel strong and powerful. That little tidbit.
That is phenomenal. That is really, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, wonder would I, yeah, that was phenomenal information. Thank you so much for that advice.
Yeah.
Debbie, I can't thank you enough for all of your information, your help, your very honest depiction of things that you've had success with and struggles with. It's been just absolutely phenomenal and amazing having you on today. I really appreciate you being with me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Sure. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Entrepreneurial Live Interviews with Connie Fuksa and Debbie Pickus today. And if you want, as we said, we put in the comments so you can find Debbie after today. She's also going to add the link to the free call so you can get in there and just talk to her, and see if there's something that you two can work out and that she can help you with. Also, if you want to talk more about getting on an interview, what the interviews are all about, somebody that maybe we need to get on an interview, I would love to do that. Or you want to talk about helping your business grow with the things that are already in your head. That's one thing that I can really help you do. So ConnieFuksa.com is where I am. You can find all my social media on there. And again, Debbie's at team-fireball.com. Debbie, thanks again so much for your time today. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Connie. Arigato.
All right, we'll see you guys all next time on Entrepreneurial Live Interviews with Connie Fuksa. Bye for now.